I've saved some of my longer stories and just realized they all fit the topic of this thread, so I'll repost. This is 1 out of 4. Be lightweight and still new to weed. Make edibles for the first time. Produce 9 portions, eat 1 for tasters. Start feeling high almost instantly. Be very, very high for the whole evening. In the morning, put the rest to the freezer for later use. Forget about them until after 2 months or so. Discover them from the freezer. For some reason think that they must have lost their edge by this time. Figure that it will not hurt to try anyway and eat 1. 30 minutes passes, feel nothing. Be convinced that there's very little or no mojo left in the edibles. Make an attempt to extract the maximum they might still have left and eat the rest of the whole damn batch. That's 7 more portions, on top of the 1 just eaten. After 15 minutes or so start suddenly feeling kinda high. In fact very high. In fact holy shit, who makes this whole house wobble? Be satisfied that you still got that high with lame-o freezer edibles. Suddenly realize that this must be the first 1 portion hitting Madome. Which means that the edibles weren't that lame after all. Which means there is a 7 times bigger boom headed my way in half an hour or so. Freak out and call a weed savvy friend. Weed savvy friend finds the situation hilarious but promises to babysit me. Be afraid that I will pass out and friend won't be able to get in. Be so high that have real trouble walking to the door as it is. Leave the door open and falter to bed. Lose all sense of time, but when the friend finally arrives see him as if through a great tunnel that's clouding your vision. Feel like there's no real connection between your mind and body. Grab the bedsheets tight to prevent yourself from floating away. Throat feels so dry it feels hard to breathe, even manually. Be afraid that if I pass out, I'll stop breathing or swallow my tongue. Struggle very hard not to pass out. Drift in weird open-eyed dreamscapes with gray birds and squirrels and spirit voices. Find it hard to understand what the friend is saying, so mostly ignore him completely. Friend gives up on communication attempts and starts to play with your dog on the bedside instead. He makes funny faces and noises to the dog, saying you're crazy repeatedly. Think that the friend is speaking to you and you're hallucinating the weird faces and shit. Freak out and start babbling of your experiences. Friend laughs so hard it suddenly starts to feel funny to you as well. As you start to giggle, friend feels it's time to break out the stoner rescue kit he brought along. Consists of Doritos, 7-Up, marshmallows and all kinds of stuff that tasted so friggin' good they brought tears to my eye. Thankful, smoke the friend out and spend something like 8 hours with him high as hell. 2 out of 4. A rough week at work, 10 to 12-hour days and no play all week long. Come Friday, finally, headed straight to my friend's place. Spend the whole longish drive fantasizing how awesome it will be to get high with him and chill. Say first thing at the door, let's light up. Friend laughs and says he has got just the thing for me. Pulls out a huge spliff he has made with those really long papers that taste like strawberries. Lets me go first. Tastes awesome and is somehow just really fun to smoke. Smoke something like 1/3 of it before giving it back to the friend. Compliment the smooth taste and ask how much tobacco he used in it. Friend giggles and says there's nothing but really dank weed in it and I'm about to notice it soon. He told me no lies, whiteout mode soon enough. Friend keeps me going by showing some awesome laser show thingies from his computer and talking constantly. Just starting to feel my feet again when suddenly the doorbell rings. Almost shit pants. Friend heads to the door. Whisper don't. It might be the cops. Friend thinks that I said it as a joke, laughs and opens the door. See 2 men in dark suits at the door. in full panic, slip into the friend's bedroom and close the door. Hear through door how all three of them come inside the apartment. Look around wildly for places to hide, but finally decide that hiding would only make things seem worse, so just stand still and listen. Finally realize that the men in black are only couple of Jehovah's Witnesses, or Mormons? Not really sure. Proselytizing from door to door. Knowing the kind of guy we're dealing with here, also realize why, oh why, the friend has invited them in. It's so we could argue with them about God, creation and all that kinds of deep stuff whilst blazed, and laugh about it later. Only problem is, feel way too high to join them because with certainty they'd know. Adopt fuck it attitude and join them anyway. Men in black badmouth homosexuality a lot. Realize only afterwards this was because we seemed like two guys living together, me being in the bedroom and all. 3 out of 4. Get extremely high. Get extreme munchies. Decide to head to corner store to acquire nutritional satisfaction. Near the shop entrance, become paranoid about the fact that I, indeed, am extremely high and they know. Decide to play it cool like a boss, straighten my posture, walk nonchalant, ignore any and all effects of intoxication. Still approaching the shop entrance, how far away is that mother lover anyway? Start feeling like I'm choking, thoughts like holy shit there's something wrong with me, I'm gonna collapse, and then they know running through my head. Right at the doorstep of the shop, realize that the choking feeling was caused by concentrating so much to the I'm cool act that I was holding my breath for a long time there. Just when stepping into the shop, exhale like I've never exhaled before, followed by small burst of giggles and panting. Notice that the whole shop is so quiet you could literally hear a pin drop. Notice that everyone, something like 4 people and the clerk at counter near the entrance is looking at me. They know. Thought of just running away from this truckload of awkward is so tempting that I actually turn around in order to do so. Remember that these are people from my block and it would be even more awkward to see them on the street after such a getaway. Also, would miss munchies. Gracefully complete the 180-degree turn into a 360. Everyone is still looking. Head forward, do a little zip-a-dee-doo-dah skip to make it look like I'm just jamming to tunes only I can hear. They stop looking. To this day, it remains uncertain could it actually be that in some insane way, that skip actually worked. Grab a shit ton of chips, candy and soda, head to the counter. Greet the clerk, check, place items on counter, check, produce wallet from pocket, check. Everything proceeding according to plan. The clerk tells me the total cost of purchases. At that very moment, realize that the only time I go to this shop is when I'm high, and have munchies. When sober, I drive to a larger shop with better selection and prices. I don't drive when high, I'm a stand-up guy like that. So in a way, I should be proud and not ashamed about being there high. Further realize that even so, this still means that every time this familiar clerk sees me, I have bloodshot eyes and slow reflexes. He probably knows. And thinks that I'm always stoned. Which is not true. In the name of truth prevailing, I need to start using this shop sometimes also when I'm sober. The clerk says the total cost again. Or was that already the 3rd time? How long have I been staring at him with my mouth open? Looking the clerk straight in the eye, utter, "Oh, I see, you want money?" Now as if that would not otherwise been bad enough, why did it have to sound like an actual question with a rising intonation at the end and all? Attempt to cover this up by quickly saying something, anything, else. Blurt out very fast, "I need a bag." "Excuse me? I need a bag. Another one?" Notice that the clerk had already bagged the purchases. "No, I'm cool." After a long pause, add, "For reasons unknown to all mankind, I was just testing you." 4 out of 4. New Alice in Wonderland, the one with Johnny Depp in it, just hit the cinemas. Make a deal with a friend to get crazy high at our separate locations and then meet up at the movie theater lobby and go see it together. Get crazy high and go to the cinema at agreed time. Friend has misunderstood their plan and instead of smoking his share beforehand, he has brought a huge spliff with him. There's still time before the movie begins, so move to a quiet location nearby and light up the spliff. As I'm already baked, I only do few puffs at first, but after a while, friend begins to almost white out and says the spliff was intended for both of us. He can't smoke it all alone and I'm a bad team player for not smoking my share. Become better team player through man hits from the spliff. Crazy high, both of us wobble back to movie theater and to the ticket counter line. It's a long one. Friend pushes me in front of him in the line and says that I should do all the talking, as well as paying LOL, because he's doubtful of being able to handle his shit at the counter, being that high and all. Harbor serious doubts about being able to handle my shit at the counter, being that high and all, but also too high to debate about it, so accept faith and go with the flow. Look at people in the lines, spot a few obviously baked and grin to them, movie posters and all the cool stuff around with a sense of wonder we lose along with childhood but sometimes momentarily regain when high. Notice that friend has been awfully quiet for a long time. Hey man, you okay back there? No response. Nudge him with elbow, you okay back there bro? You're so ready for this movie lol. I'll get us seats from the back, there's hardly ever anyone else there. No response. Figure I better get him talking about something completely unrelated lest he zone out completely and draw attention to us. Remember something I just read from the local paper couple of days ago? Hey, guess what was just in the papers? They listed top 5 meeting places of this town for gay people and this particular cinema was on the list. No response. So I was just figuring that it might not be a coincidence that we met here today lol. Note, this is all just joking, at least as far as I know, we're both 100% straight, not that we have anything against gays, we just sometimes joke about this sort of things. No response. Figured friend must be so stoned out of his mind that he doesn't get the joke and I need to really spell this out for him. Turn around, wink an eye to friend and say something like, so the only real question that remains is what should we do after the movie, pretty boy? No friend anywhere. Complete stranger of a gentleman who has been standing behind me this whole time staring at me. Doesn't say a word, doesn't change ticket lines, just turns around and walks out of the whole movie theater. Almost bumps into my friend who is returning with hands full of munchies he, unannounced, went a hunting for.